nation stands.
Take this!
Keep it up!
Let that be a lesson!
Just don't do it again. Cool?
The world of today can be at chaos sometimes. With the pandemic and everything that has happened, we can say for sure that we need a little bit of hope in our recurring days, even if it means believing in a fictional hero. And since Marvel has given lots and lots of heroes, the one that people always think about in their minds, and maybe the most famous, is the one and only Spider-Man. When it comes to video games, Spider-Man has a share of good games and some that people don't want to remember, but thanks to Insomniac Games, we had the definition of being Spider-Man back in 2018. Now what if I told you that in 2021, you would be playing Spider-Man again, but this time with the twist that you're not going to be playing as Peter Parker or Spider-Man. To fill that spot, that's why we have the sequel to the 2018 video game, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Spider-Man Miles Morales picks up 1 year after the events of the first game, with Miles and his mother moving to Harlem and still learning how to be a hero, even though that most people in the city consider him as the other Spider-Man, and no one really takes him seriously. But that will change when Peter Parker has to leave for a work trip and leaves Miles to be the only Spider-Man to hold the line. Although he has discovered his new powers, he has to deal with the mega corporation Roxxon and the new gang calling themselves the Underground, led by the Technomancer Tinkerer for the control of Harlem. All of this comes together nicely since it provides some new characters to meet and threats to take down. Also, it touches on Miles' past, nudges in some adorable moments, and further readies the story for a possible sequel. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is not without its flaws. The game for the most part is not very long. The main story can be completed in a weekend as it is left too much to be desired. Don't get me wrong, it does a great job introducing a new Spider-Man and some lovable characters, but there are some nasty plot holes, and not to mention that another weak spot in this story is Troy Baker's Simon Krieger, head of RD at Roxxon. There's so little to him that Baker has nothing to work with, feeling like a low-energy parody of the villains Baker's portrayed in the past. While the original game is a well-told yarn, it was also fairly predictable and drawn out for over 40 hours, where in this game, it will take maybe 8 to 10 hours to complete the story. But the shortened runtime works wonders for the game, because there are dozens of side missions that will interwoven in the plot as you progress through, lending a tangibility to the world that makes you Harlem's wall-crawling hero. That said, I can probably say that Spider-Man Miles Morales is an improvement in any respect. Progression in Spider-Man Miles Morales is easy to get used to. Everything you do gives you experience, and leveling up unlocks new skills and even suits to purchase using event tokens and tech parts. The event tokens are obtained by taking on random crimes and other missions, while tech points are scattered around the city inside some underground chests. Suits are fun to experiment with and not only offers cool new visuals, but abilities to aid Miles in combat and stealth. These aren't as dramatic as the 2018 set of suits, but it would have been overkill to have the Venom powers and Crazy Suit powers at the same time. Miles' Venom's moves makes combat feel so great. He can rack up an ability bar and initiate powerful punches, jumps, and slams by using this bar alone. There's also a Venom skill tree which enhances this even more by adding additional stun timers to attacks, increases the radius of a powerful electric jump that pulls enemies into the air and stuns them, and other great combat quirks. If it were not for the Venom moves, Miles would be just another Peter Parker Spider-Man. So these mechanics felt like a welcome addition to the game. Not only do they enhance combat, but they also come in handy during other daily uses too. Puzzles and some story missions rely on using the Venom powers to charge up generators, and Miles can even string web between conductors to send electricity across them. I enjoyed solving some puzzles with this, but I just wish there were more of them in the game. The game offers a terrific and measured challenge, even if you decide to play it on the hardest difficulty. You can feel the encounters so well balanced, let alone in sync with what players will naturally do. Even a street fight can take you out if you're not careful, but with the use of timed dodges, your cloak ability, less gadgets, and more Venom power, it opens an array of possibilities. There may be simple differences, but they do the job well done. Overall, it's really hard to imagine going back to playing as Peter Parker after stepping into Miles' shoes. Bashing a heavy enemy to the ground with Venom after he's gotten into your way, cloaking yourself out of trouble and then ambushing enemies from a new angle, and even just the joy of some Spider-Man 2-esque traversal challenges all makes for a great time. By virtue of his smaller scale, Spider-Man Miles Morales is a tighter, better designed package. It might not boost as many hours of content, but what it has is far more worth your time. If you felt the original Marvel Spider-Man was a bit average or too bloated with open world gaming cliches, Miles Morales might just be what you're looking for.